Batman, on a level, you could be the greatest individual in football history.
We are back with another video and we're doing a preview for the big game on Monday, Manchester United versus Liverpool. I'm not confident. Grizz's team is also winless. So we're in this together, innit, Grizz?
Well, you know what I mean? It's been a while, isn't it, since we've been in this together. Who would have thought, eh? Who would have thought? We're both nervous going into this game. We're both winless going into game week 3. It's a madness.
Wait, so you're nervous?
If anyone say, yeah, of course I'm nervous. Of course I'm nervous.
Go on, explain
it's
that.
It's a big game. I'm nervous. If you haven't got nerves before a big game, you're not human.
Yeah, but this is
Manchester United,
look at it. Team that's lost 4-0 to Brentford.
Football's a funny old game, as you probably way too young for Jimmy Greaves, but Jimmy Greaves used to say it's a funny old game, and this is why he used to say it's a funny old game. He used to wear a hat like this as well when he used to say it. It's a funny old game. Listen, you're atrocious at the moment. You're absolutely atrocious, but we're not the Liverpool that. We're not right now the Liverpool that was the Liverpool majority of last season. Played every single game, reached every single final. Won 2 trophies. We're not at our optimum. Not at optimum at all. And therefore, like any inhibitions that we used to have of going to Old Trafford was smashed in the last couple of seasons when we've gone there, right? But now, because we're not playing well, and then all this noise and hoorah about your new signings and Casemiro and then the protesting going on the side, football has a funny way of just doing shit, man. And I mean, I'm nervous. I'm not worried or scared or anything like that, but nerves are there. Yeah, it's Man United, Liverpool, man.
How do you think Liverpool done the first 2 games? Because obviously you're winless, just like us, but obviously you do have points on the board. And I'll be honest, I said it to you the other day. I feel like the Liverpool discourse is just funny. Because as soon as they beat City in the Community Shield, everyone's saying Liverpool are going to win the league. Now all of a sudden is, Liverpool missed Mane, Liverpool missed this. They need midfielders. They're not as good as people think.
Yeah, it's always the case, isn't it? Sorry, give me water. It's always the case. Our start has been 2 points out of possible 6. The first point we were lucky to get. The first point we were lucky to get. The second point we deserved all 3, but we were down to 10 men. So at the end of the day, you know how they say, sometimes you get what you deserve overall in a league season. We're going that way. So 2 points maybe is a fair assessment of our overall performance in the 2 games. The first game was disgusting, man. We never got out of the blocks. Fulham bullied us. Fulham harassed us. Fulham done to us what we do to other teams. Like proper pressed us everywhere and didn't let us play. We normally do that to other teams and then let the talent do the talking. They didn't let us do anything until Nunes came on. Everyone got hyped and gassed. Nunes going to start the second game against home to Villa. Palace. Palace came, changed their complete system, formation, the way they played against Arsenal. They played 4-3-3 against Arsenal. They went to 5-4-1 against Liverpool, which is, of course, is their right. Don't get it twisted. It's their right to do how they want, what they want. But we peppered them, man. We peppered them. We dominated them. Missed chances, and then Nunes done what he done, innit? Everyone, the world saw what he done. He got done. He got done by a defender who riled him up, bullied him, pinched him, elbowed him, done what he had to do, pulled his hair when no one's looking, done what he had to do to rile him up. And this South American brother couldn't handle the tension and the pressure. And look, 100% it was a red card. 100% he was wrong, but it wasn't a headbutt. He turned around and the guy was in his head. You know what I mean? It was like, and you saw how the guy went down, like he's been poleaxed and smashed up. But it's the name of the game. You got to hold that, bro. You got to hold that. And then even after that, once we got the player sent off, we were 1-0 down already. It's not often you see a Premiership team, and Palace ain't a bum team. Vieira's got them playing decent, and we were strong, man. We were strong even with 10 men, but we just didn't have enough. Our substitutes bench wasn't strong enough. We got a lot of injuries, and that's why I'm nervous. That's why I'm nervous, Baines. This is the only reason. If we had a full bench even, I still would have been nervous, but I would have been very confident. Instead, I'm just confident, not very confident. I'm just confident.
Because I think a lot of people have been questioning Liverpool's midfield. And I'll be honest, like, even last year I was saying, I don't think Fabinho looks the same. I think he's struggling a bit. I really like Harvey Elliott, I'll be honest. I know a lot of people don't like him, but in the right centre mid role, especially when he came on against Fulham, I thought he made a change. He made an impact in that game. And obviously, Thiago's out, Naby Keita's out. Who else is out for you?
We got Curtis Jones out, Thiago, Curtis Jones,
Oxlade-Chamberlain.
They're the 4 central midfielders out. So we're left with Fabinho, Thiago, Henderson, Naby, and Milner.
How do you feel about your midfield options then?
We are the same players last season, minus Harvey Elliott, injured most of it, yeah? The way I saw it was I want a mobile, durable, powerful midfielder in there. Durable and reliable being the 2 key elements that I would have looked for. But Jurgen Klopp saw it as Elliott, Jones. I want to give them more time. We tried to go for Tchouaméni, so they are aware. The coaches, the manager is aware that we need more fresh legs in there. But Tchouaméni done us for Madrid, which is fine. He wanted Madrid, and we can't do nothing about it. They're a bigger club than us at the time. At the moment, that's his dream. He wants Real Madrid. They're going to Real Madrid. The problem and what Liverpool fans struggle with is, if no Tchouaméni, go for target number 2 or target number 3. For whatever reason, and if you want to ask me, you can ask me, but I haven't got an answer. For whatever reason, Jurgen Klopp only wanted Tchouaméni and only wants Bellingham for now.
You know what I'll say to that? I'll be honest. Don't get me wrong, you do need midfielders, but I would understand that because you're at that stage where you're a 97, 98 plus team.
So what he says,
you're going to need the best.
So what he says, that's his argument as well, or that's what he says in press conference when he gets a bit aggy, when people say to him, he says, what he normally comes out with is, find me players that are available and their clubs are willing to deal with us that are better than mine. And then he names Fabinho, Thiago, Naby Keita, Henderson, and then he says Elliott. I don't know if you rate Elliott, but Harvey Elliott is a baller, let me tell you for a fact. Little Harvey Elliott is such a good player. But when he phrases it like that, then journalists sit there and say, he's got a point. So then they bring the injury one, which everyone does. Yeah, but they're not available, they're not durable, they're not reliable. Then he says to them last season, they were reliable enough for the club to play 72 games in all competitions. So now what should you argue that? You can't argue with that, really. But then Liverpool fans, everyone has their own trigger points where they can't take it on this. And then they say, but we know about their history. You get me? So Ox last season was always available. Naby made 40 appearances last season, the most available. Yeah. Thiago, all right. Thiago was one of the worst, but he's been like 52% all his career. All his career has been like that. Yeah. People say, yeah, but we know about their history, and that's where I'm in kind of an agreement with them. That's why I was saying we can't really use that as an excuse when they're not available, because we know that they're like that. Thiago was injured. Elliott's coming back from a broken ankle. Yeah, he's been fine so far, but he's still a young kid. Curtis Jones keeps picking up little niggling injuries. And Naby and Ox, I think even non-Liverpool fans know they get injured a lot. But just because last season they weren't, Klopp says, I'm good for now. I'll wait for my main targets, which is Jude Bellingham and I believe another guy from Salzburg. I can't say his name. But that's the kind of culture man is, man. He just waits for his time. There's nothing we can do. We can scream on our platforms day and night. And I do sometimes. I say we need a midfielder. We're behind in the midfield area. I agree with you. Your opening question was about your midfield. And I knew where you was going because I agree with you kind of. We're lacking one durable, powerful, box-to-box type player in there.
It's just that right centre mid role because I think Thiago, world class. I think Fabinho, even though I do think he's having a sticky patch and he's been struggling last year, they're still a phenomenal player and he's still one of the best holding midfielders. It's just that right centre mid role. I think if Liverpool can get that sorted, and I said this, like, even if Liverpool looked at someone like Christian Eriksen on the free before Manchester United got him, I thought that could have been a decent option in terms of a bit more creativity in midfield. But listen, that's not my problem now, is it?
No, exactly. I mean, it is what it is, man. Look, I agree with you about Fabinho. You know, Fabinho's not, Fabinho's been out of form for a little while, but he's a big lieutenant of Klopp, man. He's been magnificent for us. When he's good, he's the best. He's the best. Like, certain games you see him, like in the Charity Shield, he was magnificent. We thought, yeah, he's back. Next 2 games against Palace and Fulham, for me, everyone has their own opinions. For me, he's been the worst player on the pitch. And I'm a Fabinho fan, but I'm being honest and real. He's been the worst player on the pitch. But, is it overplaying? Like, he's one of those guys that when he's fit, he plays. Because he's so vital in that role. But I'm with you, man. I think we should have 100% should have and could have done something in the midfield this season. Not leave it all to next season. Because next season we're going to have Henderson a year older, Thiago a year older, Milner retired, Ox gone. You get me? That's 3-4 players I've minus straight away.
That's a big rebuild then in that midfield area.
In the midfield, look, we've done it nicely at the back. We've got the understudy to Trent, who's come in, Ramsey. We've got Tsimikas for Robertson. We've got Konate and Gomez as understudies to Virgil and Matip. Up front, we've done it nicely. Whether you rate Nunes or not, we've got Nunes, Jota, Diaz to come in nicely, and Carvalho. It's the midfield that the evolution that you say is, I say, behind. But
you think Carvalho could do a job in midfield?
Carvalho?
Yeah. Because I'll be honest, I said this year, I don't think Carvalho necessarily this year, but I think maybe the year after, I feel like he could do a job because he's also played like the 10 role for Fulham and stuff, innit?
He has. He's. I think he can do it, but not straight away. It'll take time.
How do you think about the transition in the forward areas then for Liverpool? Because
no, man, it's difficult. It's difficult to gauge. People can tell you they've seen player X, Y, Z, but until they play as a team in a group and a team like Liverpool where we're fighting for every honour, you have to just disregard what they've done individually at their previous clubs at Porto, Wolves, and Benfica, respectively. Like, we didn't know how Mane, Bobby, and Salah are gonna function until they proved it. Individually, they've all smashed it at their clubs. Wolves was a bad boy at Jota was a bad boy at Wolves. Diaz was a bad boy at Porto, Benfica. Diaz, you get what I'm saying? So individually, we've bought them on the basis of they smashed it at their club. Now they've got to perform at the highest level where the pressure is every single week. I can't sit here and say, yeah, bruv, certified.
You're not confident in Nunes then?
No, I think Nunes is going to score a lot of goals. I think he's going to score a lot of goals, but he's not my type of striker, attacker. And I got lynched on social media, as you do, because we signed him. About 3 months later, we signed him. And I was like, Grizz, you can't change your tune now. You said he's butters. And I said, yeah, he's not. I said, he's not my type of striker.
Because I'll be honest, when United were linked to him, I said no, because I just think there's too much money to spend on a striker currently looking at United.
I think he's not worth that money.
I've always said this. You see what Darwin Nunes? Say whatever you want, yeah? And we've seen it for the first couple of games. This guy is a chance magnet. His movement, incredible. And the thing is, this is where I think is very good in terms of, because he's so good at pressing, he can create his own chances. And we saw it in the Community Shield, I think it was when Henderson played that ball to him. And that came from Darwin Nunes pressing. And if you keep him in the box, I've always said this, he will score goals. With the rest of the link-up play, I know people are going to question and stuff, but if a striker puts the ball in the back of the net...
Yeah, look, as I said, he's not my type of striker, which doesn't mean anything. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't mean anything. That's just my personal opinion. He's not my type of striker. But how Jurgen Klopp, Pep Linders want to utilize him, they know better, innit? Like, they might have a different plan for him. I'm like you. I'm seeing him. I'm saying, yeah, his link-up play is ugly. And like, he ain't got that touch and this and that. But he's got the movement and this and that. You can see attributes that they might see in him. But I was at the time cussing the price. Like, I don't think he's a 65 or 85 million pound striker. But time will tell. Jota's pretty much the same, you know. Jota's not, his work's not clean, but he's a he's a gunman in front of goal. He's one of those guys that will score you goals. Like even if I remember I was at the Arsenal game, bro, last season at Emirates. Stinky performance from the team, and I was like, we're going for the title. We needed a win. City had won the night before. We needed to keep winning. And everyone was like, take Jota off. And I was like, leave Jota on. Do what you want. Leave Jota on. He's having a stinker, or everyone's having a stinker, but we need one chance, and I'm hoping and praying. And even though Salah was on the pitch, Mane was on the pitch, Bobby was on the pitch, I was like, no, I want that chance to fall to Jota. And lo and behold, bang, Jota. So he's that kind of guy. He don't need to be playing good. He's mentally so strong. He don't need to be having a good game.
See, the last thing I want to ask about Liverpool here before we move on to United, you know your left-hand side. I've seen a lot of people question Robertson. And maybe, for example, Diaz's end product, even though Diaz was phenomenal the other day. What do you think about it?
I think Robertson has been underrated. I think Robert's been underrated. I think the job he's done at left back for Liverpool in the system that Klopp asks for, and you guys know all about how important fullbacks are. With your lack of fullbacks, Robertson is a machine. The understanding he had with Mane was world elite levels. Mane and Robertson were underrated in that understanding they had. And of course, it's going to be a little bit different, isn't it? New guy comes in, he doesn't speak the language. Mane and Robertson have been playing together for 4 years now, 5 years now. This guy's fresh. He's different. So as a result, the understanding, the play is not going to be the same. There is a criticism of Robertson's final pass. There is a criticism of Robertson should do better. But when people read Robertson's stats, they're going to get shook. They're going to get shook. When people realize he's got 56 assists, that's mad in his Premier League career. That's mad stats. People are going to say, what? Because it's underrated, it's understated. But the fact that he can do more and he can do better, I think is a testimony to him. Because you're right.
Tsimikas is maybe better in the final third.
Tsimikas is better in the final third. I've said that from day one.
But then the rest of his game...
But the rest of him not a patch on Robertson.
That's what
Tsimikas is two-footed. Tsimikas can dribble. Robertson's an awful dribbler. Tsimikas can do that. You know that basic shuffle from left to right? Tsimikas can do that. And that's a big asset for him. But I wouldn't change Robertson for the world yet. Yes, put pressure on him. Play Tsimikas in games to rest him, to rotate him. But for example, if there was a Champions League final tomorrow, I would stick with Robertson. And Diaz are going to come good. I agree. Diaz has been slightly underwhelming in terms of output. I agree with that, 100%. I've said it myself. He needs to do more. But then automatically I think, now calm down. Because I'm comparing him to Sadio Mane. Automatically you think, bro, you're taking Sadio Mane's play. Do you know who Sadio Mane was? And then you think, calm down, let him bed in. He's been there 5 months, man.
Now, like I've always said this with Diaz here, you can see it straight away from the first minute. He has that difference. He's so explosive. But then I've always said this is where Liverpool City are so ahead of us. He has all the ability on the ball, but you see defensively, Diaz is phenomenal in my eyes. Because I think even
he works hard, bro.
He made like 6 tackles. 6 tackles for a winger. That's incredible in my eyes.
Yeah, he's serious, man. He's serious, man. He's got the hard work, and that's why we got him, because of that hard work and that effort. He's a bad boy when it comes to that, but he needs more output. But it will come. It will absolutely come.
All right, let's move over to United. Pointless. We got 0 points. What did you think about United for the first 2 games, or even in pre-season?
Bro, I genuinely thought light at the end of the tunnel for you lot finally, and I'm pretty sure 90% of humans thought that as well. You know, like some light at the end of the tunnel, some resemblance of a structure in place, some resemblance of an identity. But that was without Ronaldo. I'm just telling you, as soon as you embrace Ronaldo back in the fold, it not only upset Rashford and Sancho, okay, Martial's injured, it upsets the whole work ethic of your team. Everybody wants to... There's splits in your camp, bro. You can't go on a team...
I don't think that's necessarily to do with Ronaldo.
It's 100%. No, hold on. It's 100% not his fault. It's not 100% his fault, But he's 100% part of the reason, bro. Come on.
No,
It's
I'll be honest, I think
not necessarily his fault.
if Ronaldo comes in straight away, expectations have to rise, innit? But I think that's the best thing about it, because I've always said this. Our team as a whole, in terms of professionalism with a lot of people, attitude in games, is shocking. You bring in someone like Ronaldo, you bring in Varane, Casemiro. Now, say whatever you want about them three. They're winners. They've been at the highest level. They conduct themselves a certain way. Obviously, Ronaldo's going to be a lot more vocal because that's the sort of character he is, isn't it? But if players are scared of Ronaldo and feel insecure, I think that's just on the players.
It is on the players. Of course it is ultimately. But then there's so many subplots to that, bro. You can't just say it's simplistic just like that. A and B and then C, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many moving parts, man.
But Grizz, do you think Ronaldo's becoming a scapegoat now? Because I said this, Ronaldo's not the reason you ran 13.8 less kilometers in Brentford.
Scapegoat by who for who? For the rest of the players?
Like the British media just focus on Ronaldo.
Oh, the media. The media gonna do that. Yeah. Look, the media are gonna do that, but don't give him an opportunity to do that, innit? He's a wily old fox that's been everywhere. He's been Spain. He's been Italy. He's obviously been in the Premier League. He knows how media works. Some of his antics don't help the scenario, bro.
Do you think the interview in 2 weeks' time is gonna help?
Yeah, that's 100%. That's a look at the way he's done that. If you've got something to say it. Why are you waiting for the window to close when most likely you're not going to be there and you're going to shit on everyone? Shit on everyone now. Tell them how it is now. Tell them if you're a bad man and you'll know that so much is wrong with Man United behind the scenes, why are you taking beats on the behalf of these people?
Do you think maybe he knows he's not going to be here in 2 weeks' time?
Yeah.
Because I'm confident.
Yes.
I don't know if Ronaldo's going to be here. I've always said
I don't think he's going to be there. No way. The only problem is, and I said it at the start of the window, Baines, you know I said this. I said no serious club is going to take him. And it was like, shut up, man. Ronaldo, what do you mean? Everyone's going to come up. I said no serious club is going to take him. There's a reason for that, bro.
I think it depends on the wage package.
I get his wages. Of course it is. But it's his age and his standing in the game now, right now. There is clubs that will take him. I think, and I said this to the Chelsea people, I think he'd do a decent job for them. He's the finisher they need. But then you can't imagine Tuchel wanting.
I think the problem is with Ronaldo and even Messi to an extent at this stage of the career. If you're bringing them in, you need to prepare. You can't bring them in this late in the window when you don't have the rest of your team cater towards those players. Because you know, for example, Ronaldo off the ball's not going to give it. How are you going to then kind of what do you call it? Help that kind of thing. Are you going to bring in presses out alongside him? Are you going to bring creators outside him? Because let's be honest, there's no point having, for example, Ronaldo up top, but then Rashford on the left and like another goal scoring wing on the right. It's never going to work.
I think Ronaldo's handled it badly as well himself. Honestly,
I think he probably thought he would have got a move straight away.
Of course he did. He's frustrated. But if you don't, you need to be smart. You need to know where you are in terms of move, agent-wise. You need to be in sync. You can't be leaving at halftime, for example. That's the worst example. Can you imagine? Be honest here and real. Can you imagine any Liverpool Man City player doing that?
No, I said that, no. But then straight away, it wasn't just Ronaldo, and Ten Hag said that. And Ten Hag said...
Yeah, but check this out. No one gives a shit about the others.
Yeah, but you know the best
Media don't care.
No, but you see, for me, the best thing about Eric Ten Hag, he said Ronaldo was at fault, and he called everyone out and said, this is how we're going to move forward. Even though it was Cristiano Ronaldo, Ten Hag weren't scared of him. He
shouldn't be. He shouldn't be. And ultimately, I've said this, ultimately, Ten Hag, for his sanity, he needs him gone.
Does he though? Because where do our goals come from?
100% he needs. That shouldn't be Man United's problem. Your problem should be long-term thinking, bro. Not short.
No, it should be long-term thinking, but at the same time, Ten Hag needs short-term results. Your
short-term strategy, you clearly went for Darwin Núñez, which suggests you knew Ronaldo's not going to be there. You're not going to bring in Darwin Núñez for €100 million because you wanted to outbid us, by the way. You was prepared to outbid us, which suggests you know or you knew Ronaldo's once out. So from there, you've started begging Ronaldo to stay when he's clearly told you early, because you wanted Darwin Núñez early, you want him gone. From there, you haven't looked at any other strikers, or maybe you have, but people are saying no to you. It just suggests you already know his plans. You need to be better planned. And then it comes back to the planning at Man United, which is atrocious right now.
I agree, it's atrocious.
Atrocious.
But I still think if I'm Eric Ten Hag, you still need goals at this current stage. With Ronaldo,
you're going for short-term glory. This is the problem.
No, Grizz. The best thing
like
is
us.
for me.
We knew when we needed to get rid of Stan Collymore. We knew get rid of him.
Grizz, I understand. But listen, we know we can't get every single play that we want this summer. It's going to be a long process. If you keep Ronaldo in for now, or if, for example, if you let Ronaldo go, you're left with just Anthony Martial. We got Premier League, Europa League, and Anthony Martial is an injury-prone player. You can't rely on that. So no matter what, you're still going to need Cristiano Ronaldo in this side for the short term. And then it's up to the club. You got a year to plan, or even 6 months in terms of the January transfer window. Make sure you have a number nine in. And Benjamin Sesko would be perfect.
Who? He'll be ultimate, but he's not coming to you guys, isn't it? He would have been the ultimate. I was scared when you linked with him. Proper scared when you linked with him because he's a bad boy. 100% bad boy. Like, he's going to be the next. He's going to be the next Haaland, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
He's going to be the next Haaland. The next. Well, I've always said Nunes. Don't compare him to Haaland because Haaland's way more progressed as a player. Nunes has the potential to be the next Haaland. You know what I mean by that? He's a year behind him. He's a season and a half behind him. So he's got the potential to be a Haaland. So people say, "Oh, Grizz compared it to Haaland." I didn't. I said Haaland is above him, and this Sesko guy, bruv, he's an animal already. He terrorized us. I know it was a pre-season and that, but you can tell, innit? You can tell. So yeah, he would have been ideal for you, lot.
Are you scared of anyone at United going into the game?
Oh man, I hate these questions, man. Scared. No, why should we be scared? Of course.
Or is there any like potential matchups that you would think United could get you at?
No.
Nothing.
No, I used to.
You're right.
I used to think Rashford every time. I used to think Rashford's going to do something every time. Because of the trend, England, friends, get one over each other, all of that vibes, yeah. But Rashford, and I hope I'm not, from a Liverpool point of view, going to curse this and Rashford turns into Neymar again. But Rashford's gone off the rails, and I keep thinking, no, he's going to come back. He's going to come back. I know Rashford's going to come back because I used to rate him a lot. Every time people used to say, name a player that you want from Man United, I used to pick Rashford ahead of Martial every time, ahead of everyone else. They used to say, you're dumb, you're mad. But Rashford used to always have something. But he's fallen off a cliff. Now, I don't know.
To Dele Alli now.
I don't know what the reason is, man.
I said this with a lot of United players. Yeah, like you can have all the ability in the world, but application-wise, we are shocking. Like I said this, and I said this on Jadon Sancho and Rashford the other day. If it's not working for you going forward, you know what? I can understand that a player's going to have a rough patch. But what I can't accept as a fan is you not working hard tracking back. Application-wise, our team is shocking. You lose your first draw, okay, that's fine. Try win your second one. Try win the third one. But if you're not winning any of it and you're hiding, I can't accept that as a fan, which is why I think a lot of people don't really care who leaves this team because they've all let us down massively.
It's a tricky one, man. It's a tricky one. When you say who you scared of, see, that's like, if I say no one, that comes across arrogant. But it should also be, but it should be an elite mentality that you know your place, right? And I respect a still couple of players. Like Sancho we know Sancho's a brilliant dribbler. He could easily do something on his day. You know, a set piece, maybe. Do you know what I mean? Bruno, you know, set piece. Maguire, set piece. In transition, maybe you got the pace to attack us because the way we play so high in transition, but in open play, you know what I mean? Unless we fuck up, like we have been, though, that you have to bear in mind, we've been fucking up. So you know, if Brentford if Fulham can score against us and Palace can score against us, Man United have the firepower to score against us. But we need to bring our A game, and if we bring our A game, we should win. There's no
Just quickly before we wrap up, what do you think about Martinez? Because obviously Jamie Carragher has been very critical of him so far.
I'm not gonna lie, I've been critical of him from the start as well.
Why?
just wrong league, man. I know me and you had a little hoo-ha on Twitter about it, and I told you so when I said it's a total different game that he's used to playing. And what I mean by that is not the league. I get that's without saying that the Premier League is totally different from the Dutch league. He's coming from Ajax, where they had 75% of the ball in every game, and he was utilised as a ball-playing centre-back. Man United are not that team to have any possession anymore. You know more than me.
But is that not what Ten Hag's trying to build, though?
Of course he does, but you do not put the burden on a 5'8" centre-back straight away. You build the team around him, and then you put that final piece, because he's that final piece in the jigsaw. Otherwise, people are going to see red every time they see him. He's going to be like a ball. Like straight away, if Nunes was playing, any team that with a physical striker, they're licking their lips already. They're licking their lips, and they will get success.
Let me.
Brighton are a footballing team. Brighton are a footballing team. They changed their game plan for you guys.
No, but they changed it. Don't get me wrong. Martinez is becoming a target. It's going to be natural. You're going to target the smallest centre back. But do you think he's actually coping well? Because don't get me wrong. Against Brentford, you could argue he maybe struggled yet, but Ten Hag said it with the Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville. The data doesn't prove it.
I'm not going to criticize him. I'm not going to criticize him individually because it's unfair. I get where you're coming from. It's unfair, but the coach has to see this and read it. Let's be real. Mourinho would have not allowed this kind of shit to happen. He would have been ahead of the curve. He may have topped up with I don't think he would have, but he may have topped up after he's fixed up the midfield, the fullbacks, centre-backs, goalkeeper, and then bring in a ball-playing centre-half just to finish it like we done with Virgil, the last piece of the jigsaw. You've done the opposite, and then you've done the opposite, and it's total different philosophies from Ajax.
Grizz, you know how important having a left-footed centre-back is for all these possession-based managers?
Bro, fix your midfield first.
We're getting Casemiro now. And obviously, I'm not saying that's going to fix everything. We need one more kind of thing next to a minute. The ball progressing midfielder. But he still does help in terms of that defensive.
Yeah, 100%. But do that first.
Capabilities in front of
Martinez. 100%. I get, and I admire him sticking to get Frankie de Jong. And I've been saying to people, every Man United fan that's been saying, should we give up? I said, no. You should give him what he wants. And if he wants Frankie de Jong, you have to do it. Yeah, I know. But that's bad as well. It don't make sense from Frankie de Jong to Casemiro. Now, Saeed made a wicked point the other day. Saeed made a wicked point last night, I think, or the other day, on the Big Six, and I was nodding away with him. I was like, bad boy points here. I agree with him. He's like, these fuckers are going to waste our money anyway. They're spunking it left, right, and centre. Why not spunk it on one of the best DMs in world football, which is what we need? It's a short-term thing. His energy's gone long-term, but he's brilliant. No one can deny Casemiro's not brilliant right now.
Do you know what I said with the Casemiro De Jong thing? We need everything in that midfield. We need that ball progressor, but we also need that Casemiro to break up play, which is why I'm like, okay, you haven't got De Jong. I can understand that was his number one target, but you still need another profile midfielder. Casemiro was still needed even with De Jong, which is why I'm like, okay, I'm upset that we're not getting De Jong because that was clearly Ten Hag's number one target, but Casemiro is a world-class DM. He's better than Fabinho. Other than Rodri, you can't really compare him to any other holding midfielder in the world. I think he's
100%, man. 100%. You can't, but again, you need more. You can't be the final piece.
Someone like Tielemans now next to him, better on the ball. I don't mind it, even though I'm not Tielemans' biggest fan. But anyway, let's wrap this up quickly. Score prediction, Grizz.
Bro, I'm gonna stick with what I said, man. I said 2-1. And I'm going to stick with it. I said 2-0, actually. I'm going to stick to 2-0.
I think I said 3-0 Liverpool and Saeed showed. I ain't confident.
Yeah, 2-0 or 2-1. But it's not a wrap, man, like it was last season. Last season, I knew we were going to turn up. And I said it. I said we're gonna mull it. Honestly, I said it's going to be 3-4-0, but ended up 5-0, obviously. But this one's not going to be like that. You cannot be...
Hey, Grizz, you're overrating us, you know.
No, I'm not overrating you. I'm just thinking pride and new manager.
Grizz, we don't have pride.
No. I'm refusing. I'm not being pessimistic and thinking of the worst because I'm still predicting a win, but I can't see you lot like this. It can't be. You're Man United, man. You can't Grizz, lose 4-0.
This ain't United.
And the fact that we're not playing great is making me a little nervous as well. But the way the focus has been in training and players are hoping we're going to turn it on. And if we look, that's why I said if we've concentrated on our game, we should have enough.
But anyway, make sure you guys like the video, comment your thoughts about this video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Grizz. The link is in the title, and we will be back